because I don't have anybody on after you. It's either 12 to 3. So my next person's at 4. So if you need a little bit of time to wrap up, you're good.
All right, the stream is live. Let's just pull up the old YouTubes. Oh, jeez. It logged me all the way in. Oops. Cool. I'm muting some stuff, folks, so please hang with me. All right. Give me just a minute, guys. We got to set up a few more things on our end, and we will be ready to rock. This microphone is super duper stiff. But you know what? Let's go ahead and go for it. We got audio. We got everything. Yep, let's do it. Okay, cool, guys. Welcome to LANFEST 2023. I am your host, the Terk. We're doing things a little bit different than we typically would do on a gaming broadcast because I'm a little bit different than your standard streamer, of course. If you're new to the channel, my name's Terk. I stream science and tech hardware stuff all the time. We talk PC hardware, we talk GPUs, CPUs, all that good stuff. But lately, we have been dabbling in the realm of handheld gaming, because that's why you're all here. You all saw the thumbnail. We're going to be talking about the ROG Ally today. We're also going to be talking about the dumpster fire that is known as Jedi Survivor, because if you've been watching my Twitter feed, there have been a whole bunch of not good things that are being listed. So we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about some other news topics like the bulging motherboard and CPUs from AMD's latest CPU lineup. We're going to talk about the Microsoft Xbox Series S and X sales, as well as some other fun topics. We'll get to that at the end. But then we're going to cap it off with kind of a 30-minute review segment where I'm going to be talking about if you're going to want to go to a LAN party, is using a handheld device kind of a feasible option? Because, you don't want to lug your big computer and monitor to a party. So can you get away with just, doing that? So I've got my Steam Deck that I've got hooked up. We could have some technical issues on that, but I've also got my AOK Zoe A1. We're going to be playing all sorts of cool things. So appreciate y'all sticking with the stream. Let's see if we've got anybody on chat just yet. David Smith, welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a good one. We're going to be playing this by ear. This is kind of a beta test when it comes to all that fun stuff. So I need just a minute to set up a couple other windows because we're going to be showing all sorts of stuff. They didn't have any scenes really set up with screen captures and that, so we're going to be a professional streamer today, and we're going to set up some stuff real quick. So sideshow, we're going to grab the window capture. We want edge. Cool, and edge just showed up. Perfect. And then we want to throw in our video capture. That's webcam. I'm going to chop it. But how's everyone's day going? I hope y'all are having a good one. I've been having a fantastic time so far here at LANAllNight. This is if you're not familiar with LANAllNight, this is a chapter in the DFW area of Texas where they do LAN parties. If you're not familiar with what a LAN party is, I don't know what to tell you, but it's basically going to be a good time to... Why is that not showing up? It's going to be a good time to play video games with your friends and all of that stuff. This, I believe, is the 8th time that they've had this particular LAN party. It started right before COVID hit, and we've been having it off and on for the past while. So I've been to most of them. I think I've missed one or two, but all right, cool. So that is working. Let's transition back real quick because I don't want that on Edge. I want it on, or I don't want it on Chrome. I want it on Edge. Okay, now it's showing up. Whatever. Okay, so let's get started with the ROG Ally. So I've been talking about a lot of Steam Deck stuff on the channel, and I have been talking a lot about just different types of handhelds. Of course, we've covered the Steam Deck ever since it was announced back in, 2021. We've been putting all sorts of content out there, and a lot of people on the internet called me crazy, thinking that there was going to be a legitimate Steam Deck competitor within the next 1 or 2 years. People were saying, oh, Terk, it's going to take 3 to 5 years for a legitimate Steam Deck successor or a valid competitor to hit the market. And we have the ROG Ally. So let's talk about it. We got some specs we want to throw up on the screen real quick. Let me throw that on this window, and we will get started. So if you're new to the channel, a handheld device is basically, of course, it's got this massive ad at the top. A handheld device is basically just a computer that has all of the different guts baked into the heart of the device, but it also has the controllers and the buttons and sticks and all that stuff. So obviously, if you're going to want to play like Nintendo Switch games or all that sort of stuff, that's really going to be your jam. But the ROG Ally is going to be probably the newest and most powerful unit that's coming out, and we do have some official specs as well as some kind of speculative specs. I have seen the device myself, but I won't get too much into that. This is all based off of publicly available information. But starting back in April 1st, ooh, that's an ad, they announced it, and people thought this thing didn't exist. And of course, I knew it existed, so I kept trying to tell people. But right now, is this the link? Yep. The ROG Ally is going to have a Ryzen-branded custom APU known as the Z1. There are a couple of different variants. There's the base Z1 that has 6 cores that's going to run right around 4 gigahertz. It might not get up to 5 gigahertz, but 4.5 to 4.6. So it's a still pretty powerful processor. It's running the Zen 4-based cores. But the disappointing thing about the base Z1 is it is running only 4 compute units of the RDNA 3 graphics. So it's not all that great, but we'll have to see what the numbers have to show for it. The second and probably the most popular version of the ROG Ally is going to be based off of the Z1 Extreme processor. This one's going to be running 8 CPU cores, and they're going to run pretty spicy, about that 5 gigahertz range, depending on the TDP you set it for, of course. And that's going to be really impressive, especially when it comes to like emulation and other types of single-threaded games, because being able to boost really high and having access to a lot of cores, really good for a handheld device. Now, the good thing compared to the Z1 is the Z1 Extreme-based processor are going to have 12 compute units, which is about 50% more than what the Steam Deck has, and it's very comparable to the 6800U-based handhelds that we've seen from like AOK, Zoe, A&EO, and GPD. So, but it's going to be using the RDNA 3 graphics architecture. So super fast. I'm really going to love it. As impressive as those numbers are, we don't really have a good handle on what the GPU clock speed's going to be. They've been marketing that it's going to hit some pretty impressive T-flop numbers. Like with the Z1 Extreme, I think they're posting, like 8.6 teraflops. And that, if you do the math for that, that should be right around 2.7 gigahertz, which is about 300 megahertz faster than the currently available 6800Us. But I don't think it's going to necessarily boost up to that fast, especially if you're running at the 15-watt TDP setting. So I would expect it to be anywhere between, 2.0 to 2.2 gigahertz, might even get up to 2.4. It really depends on how the operating system is able to balance, CPU core activation versus GPU. But that's just to tell you guys what it's going to be. So the next spec we have is going to be the size of the device. Let's see if we have a good picture of it. There we go. So this is the ROG Ally. It looks very familiar to the Steam Deck. It's going to have a much wider profile than some of the other handhelds out there, and it actually has a very similar footprint to some of the other Windows-based handhelds. The controls it looks like it's very similar to an Xbox style controller, which is familiar to a lot of gamers. But there are no trackpads like the Steam Deck does. So I've noticed a lot of people online don't really like that missing. But if you're not playing those types of games and you're doing more like DX12, DX11, more current generation stuff, I think this is a pretty good compromise to what's going on. Another thing I like about it is that it has the buttons for the device up by your thumbs. So one thing that I don't like about the AOK Zoe is down here. This is where your special feature buttons are, and then your start and selects up here. This device has everything up by where your thumbs are going to be, so I think that's really useful. The only other benefit when it comes to the form factor of the ROG Ally is that it is a little bit lighter than the Steam Deck. I've seen some reports and some videos of hands-on that they actually enjoy it quite a bit. So really, if you put the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally side by side, I could probably say about 90% confidence there that they're going to look very similar next to each other. All right, so we talked about the processor and the size of the device. The next biggest thing for consideration is the screen. A lot of people that use the Steam Deck know that the Steam Deck screen is not all that great. The ROG Ally is going to be shipping with a 7-inch 1080p panel. Very common resolution for most gamers. And if you watched the Fox's video, I'll post a link at the top after we do some post-processing. This screen is going to be a variable refresh rate screen up to 120 hertz. Now, I'm in Camp Fox on this one. I don't think games are going to be able to go that fast, but since this is a variable refresh rate monitor, it's going to look so smooth, especially if you're in that magic window between 40 FPS and 60 FPS. Getting that smooth experience is going to be so nice. Of course, you're going to want to cap frame rates and all that stuff in order to conserve power. But I think that this screen alone, especially with how bright it is, I think they've guaranteed 100% RGB coverage. I think this is going to be a huge asset when it comes to the ROG Ally. So guys, let me know down in the comments if y'all think this was a good option of what type of monitor the ROG Ally could have used. Another thing, going back to the Fox's video, this screen is rumored to be in portrait mode. Landscape mode. I always get confused. This is a huge thing because if it's in portrait mode, a lot of older games have a hard time, and one modern game specifically, Red Dead Redemption 2 in Vulkan, doesn't like that particular screen rotation. So this is going to be another big benefit to this device as opposed to some of the other devices, except for the GPD Win 4. I think that one has that one screen. So let's continue. So we talked about the screen. The next one is the battery. Now, a lot of people have been reporting that we don't know the specs of the battery, but I think there's a couple of different outlets out there that have reported on the media day that it will have a 40 watt-hour battery, which I think, given the form factor of the device as well as kind of a cost-saving measure, 40 watt-hours seems to be pretty standard. And if you check out some of the videos on my channel, 40 watt-hours probably is going to give you about a little less than an hour and a half of gameplay, especially if you're running it at full bore at 15 watts. But as we didn't mention that earlier, you can configure the Z1 or Z1 Extreme to run between 15 and 30 watts. So at the baseline power setting of 15 watts, you should be able to get, an hour and a half of battery life full bore. But if you're going to 30 watts, this thing is not going to last probably less than an hour. So that's something to keep in mind if you're needing something that has more battery. Again, the AOK Zoe has a 64 watt hour battery. I think the A&Eos have 45, maybe 54. Check out the videos on the channel. We talk about that over there quite a bit. Another cool fact with the ROG Ally, let's see if we've got some better pictures of it. We don't care about laptops. Do I have any other cool links? I have a little note sheet set up, and I've been trying to track a lot of this stuff. I wanted to see if I had some cooler pictures. Nope, we don't want that one yet. But we will be pulling that one up shortly. Yep, there we go. Perfect. On the same page. I should have just stuck with it. Let's see if that shows up very well. I'll scroll up a little bit. So, one of the other cool benefits of the Ally versus AOK Zoe A&EO is the cooling solution. ASUS has a lot of experience when it comes to developing laptops, graphics cards, and all that stuff. So they have a good team of thermal engineers, and I think this implementation of the cooling solution is going to be one of its key benefits for being a successful product. There's going to be, I don't know if y'all can see my mouse, there's going to be inlet fans here on the back side behind both the grilled thing here as well as the little ROG logo, and it's going to exhaust out the top of the device. So that's two fans that are going to be providing active cooling to the device, so it should be able to run at slower speeds, lower RPM, and provide a similar cooling compared to some of the other designs that are out there. Now, there's some contention about this design, and I'm on the Taki Uden side. These fans don't actually have to ramp up and down at the same time. These fans can be ramped up and down at various different settings, because that's what laptops do in order to cool the different heat pipes that are connected to the device. So I have a feeling that the fan profiles on this device are going to be pretty, what's a good way to say it? It's going to be pretty well optimized for all these different things. So what else do we have to say about the device? We got to talk about the price. I pulled that chart up. This was leaked about a day ago from Snoopy Tech. I've never heard of this person on Twitter. You can follow me at the Terk. But it is rumored that the ROG Ally, $700. That, I think, is a phenomenal price. I thought this device was going to be right at $800 because, you know, once you get to that $800 range, you're like, all right, well, I could buy a pretty decent gaming laptop at that point. And if you're spending $1,000 on it, you know, you could be paying rent. So I think $700 is kind of that, you know, I could probably drop that kind of money onto the device and not be too bent out of shape about it. But what I think this also leads to is the Z1 version is going to be significantly cheaper. Now, we don't have any details on that just yet, but if the Z1, the base model, comes in at like $400, I think that would be phenomenal. And those types of prices are going to put this head-to-head with the Steam Deck. Assuming these prices are correct, you've got a faster processor, you've got a better screen, you've got better game support, you have a more optimized fan system, because let's be honest, the fan on the Steam Deck is not that great. Overall, this device is poised to be a Steam Deck killer, and I've been looking for that here on the channel for quite a while. But this is just such a nice looking device. It's got that ROG buttons right there, front-facing speakers. I think they got microphones. That's what those dots are. I will say, the one thing I do worry about is this D-pad. We have a similar shaped D-pad on our AOK Zoe. This thing is garbage. So I'm really curious how that translates onto the actual device. And it just looks so good. I'm curious if it's going to come into other colors and all that. So that's the leak for the pricing. I think we've talked about the device itself. Let's check back in with chat real quick. I appreciate you guys hopping on the channel and watching and all that. Natagapol, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Z1 might be bandwidth starved. We need MR DIMMs to rise, else GDDR memory like the consoles do. The only downside with using GDDR is the latency is really bad. It's high bandwidth, but the latency is bad. But I think that might be a good compromise, but that might take a little bit more work from like a Windows driver's perspective, because I think there's only one device out there that actually uses GDDR, and that's Tom's Hardware did an article about it. It was like the Xbox Series S dev kit or something like that. I always wanted to get my hand on it, but never had a chance. What do you know about performance? How much faster is it compared to the 6800U? That is going to be our next topic. So stick tight, Genio. For $700, Brett Cooper says, rather put that into a pump and dump stock and turn 650 into 25K. This is not a financial advice channel, nor am I giving you financial advice. So thank you for the comment. So let's talk performance. Let's stop stalling. Y'all saw the thumbnail and all that stuff. Let's talk performance. Now, we've just got recently, I think it was this past week, AMD finally gave us their performance numbers for the Z1 and the Z1 Extreme. Let's see if I've got a link for that. I think I do. Yep, here we go. Let me pull that up real quick. Copy, paste. Yep, there we go. Let's pull this up. So this is the official numbers. And again, I don't have my hands on the device. I don't have official numbers for what I'm going to be showing you regarding 15 watts, but that is coming. So stay tuned. But as of today, we have gotten some information from AMD themselves talking about the Z1 Extreme and the Z1. Now, I really hate this chart on the right talking about the graphics performance. They even note engineering projection. It's like, come on, AMD. Y'all have already screwed us once. Maybe I'll post a link to my debated video I did on the channel talking about the RDNA 3 announcement and the actual performance. But AMD at least did show us a good amount of data. And what I think is more important here is the performance that we're going to be able to see with RSR, or Radeon Super Resolution, turned on. So they're taking a picture out of my book and how I do my charts with the games that they tested and the settings they tested at 1080p, upscaled, of course, from 720p. Each of these games is getting 60 FPS. Now, on the surface, that looks really, really good, but we do have to keep in mind this is at 30 watts. I think they said it in their actual press charts that they sent out. So this is not your typical gaming scenario that you would see in a standard handheld environment. Of course, marketing teams are going to be marketing teams, and they got to put the biggest numbers out there and all that stuff. But it's at least a starting point for the conversation. Again, they also posted some data for the base Z1. It's not as powerful as the Z1 Extreme, as you would expect, but it's getting at least pretty close. Red Dead Redemption 2 above 30 FPS, Borderlands solid 60. Everything else is pretty much 60 as well. So this is a pretty decent experience overall. So this is the chart. Let's make sure I'm showing the right stuff. Yep. So this chart is what I think is the most telling for the upcoming ROG Ally. So this chart explains 1080p performance, average frame rate at low settings, again at 1080p native resolution. Up to this point, many budget-based handhelds use a resolution of 800p, and some of the more premium models go up to 1200p or 1600p, which is, for a native experience, too much resolution for the lowly 6800U, even running at 28 watts. But for the ROG Ally, since it's running a native 1080p, they're going to show you native numbers. So here we have in orange the Z1 Extreme, in red we have the Z1. And man, that Z1 is pretty rough. 25 FPS on Red Dead Redemption 2 at low quality settings. That's almost PlayStation 4 performance, not really quality levels. But CSGO is still pretty good. Grand Theft Auto is good. Forza Horizon 4, I thought this was a really interesting thing because, Forza Horizon 5 has been out for a while. Really good benchmark. really good from a Windows marketing Game Pass perspective. So why did they use Forza Horizon 4? We'll get into that in just a little bit. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, this is going to be a key indicator of some of the deficiencies of older designs, but the potential that's going to be baked into the Z1. Far Cry, again, 34 FPS with the lower spec model, but almost 60 FPS with the Extreme. And the other two games are pretty good. So what I've done is I've taken this data and collected some supplement data as well in order to try and speculate what the Z1 is going to perform like and see if that kind of jives with the marketing material that ASUS as well as AMD have been putting out at this point. Because we've heard the claim that at 30 watts, the Z1, or not the Z1, the ROG Ally is going to be 2 times as fast as a Steam Deck. And at 15 watts, it's going to be 50% faster than the Steam Deck. Now, if y'all are familiar with some of the handheld communities, those metrics don't line up a lot, and Fox did a really good job on his video talking about, how unrealistic that performance number is. So I went ahead and did the digging, and I collected data for the Steam Deck for a couple of different games. I collected data on my AOK Zoe A1 here at both 15 watts and 30 watts. And if y'all are familiar with the channel, I love doing math and all that stuff. So I've actually gone and calculated some expected performance numbers. Now, there are some reports. I learned this morning. My charts have already been leaked to several different prominent Discords out there. I think it's gone by one of the retro gaming ones. I know it's on Taki Uden's Discord, as well as the ROG Ally Discord server. So now I get to give you guys context behind some of those values that have been presented online. Let me get this data up. I got to make sure I'm showing the right pictures first because there's a story to be told. Yep, this is the first one. Okay, so let's make a new scene. Again, guys, this is all live. I'm doing this at the LANAllNight Gaming Expo here in the DFW area. It's a super awesome experience. Lots of gamers. I think there's going to be about 200 people in the LAN hall right behind me once people get off work on Friday. And it's going to be a really fun experience. So if y'all are interested in that sort of an event, definitely follow, hit subscribe, and all that. I'll be going to QuakeCon. Later this year as well. So plenty of good stuff to go and sign up for. And there's probably plenty of other outlets and stuff out there too. All right, so that's photos. Photo doesn't like that. That doesn't like. Capture method. Oh, there's a black screen. Sorry, guys, for the dead air there. I'm trying to get this stuff set up so y'all can actually see what I'm doing. Here, we'll do it this way. Can I open it in the Edge window? Oh, and I'm not recording any of this shit. Pardon the language. Perf versus deck. Yep, that's the one. Let's throw this into the Edge. Not Internet Explorer. Crap, where's Edge at? Can I just drag and drop it into Edge? Yep, we can. Perfect. We're going to do it that way. All right, so let me move my head. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. All right. The moment you've been waiting for, what y'all been waiting for this whole stream. Here we have the performance numbers for the Z1 Extreme at 30 watts, the Z1 at 30 watts. I have the 6800U at 15 and 28 watts, and I also have the Steam Deck. And I went ahead and also tested it at within Windows as well as Steam OS because I've got a video coming up on Sunday. I think it drops 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. So make sure you check in for that video. But here we've got all of the different data set up, and I've normalized it all based on the Steam Deck. So here in blue, the darker blue, we have the Steam Deck at the Steam OS. That's going to be 100% all the time, which is what you would expect. And at the 6800U, at 15 watts, we get anywhere between 85% performance compared to the Steam Deck, all the way up to 119% the performance of the Steam Deck, which is already a really good performance for a standard laptop CPU already. So if you've got one of these types of handhelds, don't feel like you're left out because of the Z1. But here we have it all in comparison for the Z1s. So the one in red, the Z1 baseline, gets anywhere between 89 and 131% of the Steam Deck, which isn't all that great. It looks good, and if you just look at the numbers, it looks good. But keep in mind, this is at 30 watts. This is a scenario you would never run your ROG Ally at. So as much as we like the numbers, maybe it's good for like a docked mode, it's just not that impressive. But then we go and look at the Z1 Extreme, and Forza Horizon 4, told you we would get to that, we get up to that 200% performance improvement that they were claiming from their marketing slides, which I think means we're spot on the trail, guys, when it comes to expected performance. And I think this also validates why, the Fox and I and some of the other handheld folks never really bought into that 2 times the performance claim that Asus puts out. Because, wrong mouse, Borderlands only gets 47%, Far Cry 6 only gets 156%, and then we have Shadow of the Tomb Raider is 167%. So the big question is going to be, with that 30-watt metric, what is the real number going to be from the ROG Ally? I think that their marketing team is over-claiming the potential for the device, and I think that's pretty disingenuous when it comes to their customers and all that. So, let me know down in the comments your thoughts on that. I also got some data for comparing this against the Z1. This is kind of just a metric to kind of normalize your expectations for the device. Again, the 6800U compared to the baseline Z1, it's still performing as good as the Z1 baseline model. So again, I don't think that people that have 6800U based devices are going to be up shit creek. Again, this is all at 1080p, so I think it's a pretty decent experience. Let's check chat real quick to see if anyone's got some other comments on this. So this thing will be like a portable Series S in terms of performance? No. So the Series, I've done some videos here on the channel. It's like the definitive console killer PC guide. The Series S is able to run 1080p up to 1440p at really high quality settings. All of this data that's being presented is at low quality settings. So you can't necessarily make that distinction and make that jump, because if you were to turn up the graphical quality settings with the handheld, it won't necessarily translate one-to-one. But I think it's really darn close, and if you do the 7-inch screen, it could look as good as the Series S, but I don't necessarily agree with you there, but I do think it's in the right direction when it comes to portable gaming alternatives. So thank you, AVB, for that post. Is that a Dropbox logo on your hat? No, there's some other people that were around that were at QuakeCon when these were handed out, and I call it the evil Dropbox logo, but apparently it is actually a legit business. He just walked by. He told me what it was, but I have no clue what it is. But thank you, Natagolf, again, for your comment. Z1 is disappointing. If it didn't already own the SD, the Z1 Extreme would seem like a decent option, but I'll probably just wait for the next generation in a few years. That's fair enough. I think if you've got a handheld at this point, you're not necessarily in a bad state, but at $700, the rumored price, I really do think there is a spot for people to offload their deck or give it to a friend or just, have it around for learning Linux, because Linux is always a cool thing. All right, so this is where we start to enter speculation territory. I wish I had a graphic on here. So big red letters, this is all speculated data. If you've seen this stuff on Reddit already, because it's been leaked, there is assumptions built into all of this stuff. So I'm warning you now, this is not, I did not measure this stuff on a physical device for the Z1, but I have run this by many other people in the community. We think these numbers make sense, and I think the way I got to these numbers are pretty sound. So take it for what it's worth, take it with a grain of salt, but I think this is going to be probably the baseline expectations that we should think from the ROG Ally Z1 Extreme as well as the baseline Z1. So let me drink some water real quick, because we're having a good time in the stream. Let's get into it. So in green, I'm trying to follow the same coloring patterns as before, but with a little bit of a nuance to the coloring scheme. So the dark colored lines are the fully wadded parts. So these are going to be the maximum numbers that should be supported by the device. And then the gradient colors are going to be their lowest wattage counterpart. So for the 2800 or the 6800U, the gradient color is 15 watts. The dark green color is 28 watts. And then for the Z1 and the Z1 Extreme, they're using the same color schemes as before, but I'm adding that gradient to kind of distinguish between the wattages with the colors. And it just looks a lot better. So what I did was I normalized all of this behind the 6800U at 15 watts, because that would be your specific wattage you would typically run with a handheld with a current generation device. And what I did was I used that difference between the 15 watt and 28 watt mode in order to calculate kind of a scaling factor for each of these games. And this is where the assumption comes into play. I don't know if AMD's Z1 or their Zen 4 plus RDNA 3 APUs will scale just as well as their older hardware, but I think it's at least a good foot in the door and a place to start with. And I applied that same 16, 15, 18, and 23% to these other designs. Added it into the raw metrics, which we will get to shortly, but this is kind of what we would expect to see between a 6800U based handheld versus a Z1 based handheld. So with Borderlands 3, we would expect about a 16% performance drop going with the baseline Z1 at 15 watts, but we should get about the same performance, and that kind of lines up with what we saw in the raw data as well with the 30 watt model. But this is where the Z1 Extreme, I really think, makes a really impressive performance. We should expect about a 20% performance improvement, or anywhere between 20 and 30% going from the 6800U to the Z1 Extreme. And that lines up with a lot of the expectations that the Fox, sorry if I'm losing some of those creators' names, but this lines up with the expectations. I think Taki mentioned it in his video too, but we should expect to see between 20 to 30% performance improvement based on 6800U based handhelds. Far Cry 3, that's that 30% number, or Far Cry 6, Far Cry 3. That dates me a little bit. And then next is Forza Horizon 4. Again, remember, this is the one that has the 91% performance improvement to the Steam Deck. We should expect to see at least 35% here. And then Shadow the Tomb Raider. This might seem a little off, and you might think, Terk, you're full of shit. Why does your data look this good? You got to keep in mind, Shadow the Tomb Raider is a very CPU demanding game once you get past a certain GPU threshold. I think given the combination of RDNA 3 compute units coupled with the frequencies those are running at, and we're starting to get better efficiency from the Zen 4 cores, I really do think games in this sort of scenario are going to amp up and get even better. So that's the explanation of why those results are as high as they are. So I know that's a lot to soak in, but the to sum that up real quick, I think the Z1 and the Z1 Extreme compared to previous laptop APUs lines up with what the marketing team has been advertising up to this point. It's not as good as what they've been marketing, but it's at least what we've been expecting and we've seen from some of the different RDNA 3 based GPUs that we've done an analysis on. Again, I've got some videos here on the channel. You can check that out. So do that. Take that for what it's worth. Whew, that's a lot of words, man. I've got more data. We've got more data. So this is, I got to make sure I'm looking at the right chart now. Yep, so this is the next one. So instead of looking at the 6800U, let's look at the Steam Deck. So this is probably another one of those pictures you've seen floating around. I've normalized the data behind the Steam Deck. I'm not going to go into all the explanation, but we're seeing a 26 performance improvement with the Z1 Extreme with Borderlands 3, 36% performance improvement with Far Cry 6, a mighty 61% performance improvement with Forza Horizon 4, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, again, we get the added benefit of the CPU clock speed boost as well as the GPU boost. So we do expect to see still some pretty impressive performance improvements compared to the Steam Deck. Now, this is where I think the value-based Z1 actually has some pretty good arguments for it. So with Borderlands 3 at 15 watts, we only lose about 11% performance compared to the Steam Deck. And for Far Cry 6, we only lose 9%. Forza Horizon 4, we gain 10%. And in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, we're so GPU starved, it just isn't able to take off. So I think that the Z1-based solution, if it's priced appropriately, right around, maybe $400, if it could get even cheaper, that'd be even better. I think the baseline Z1 could be a very compelling option. Let's see if we've got any comments to talk about. Is the graph scaled to 1080p like Steam Deck is 800p, right? All of this data is 1080p. I think I mentioned that earlier in the video. If I didn't, I'm announcing it now. I tried to replicate the same AMD data as best as I could. I picked games that had built-in benchmarks. I picked games that have definitive low-quality presets in order to remove all of that ambiguity that comes from some of the charts that AMD puts out. So these 4 games checked off all of those boxes. So I want to say this is all apples as apples as we're going to get, especially when it comes to this level of speculation. What makes me so hyped is the external GPU. Yep. I'm not excited about the price of that. It's really expensive. I think it's what, $1,800 for the 4070 one they have. So yeah, it's not all that great, but it's at least a good thing. All right, one last chart when it comes to the Z1, and we will be wrapping up this segment of the stream. We're going to keep streaming until about 3 or so, but this is the last chart I want to look at. This is the raw performance numbers of the individual games, because percent performance improvement that we saw here in this one, make sure we're on the right screen. Yep. Percent performance improvement is good for like a relative discussion, but is the baseline Z1 72% slower than the Steam Deck? Is that a bad thing? Does that mean you shouldn't buy that device? Well, I went ahead and removed the relative aspects of it, and here we have just the raw performance numbers. And this is where I think the story becomes significantly more clear, and we can actually come with some baseline recommendations going forward. So here with Borderlands 3, the Steam Deck hits about 39 FPS in its native environment at 1080p, low quality settings. The baseline Z1 should be getting around 35 FPS. So it's not that much worse. It's not any better. And then the Z1 Extreme, it can almost get to that 60 FPS threshold. So it's like there's that window of, is it that much better? You have to kind of take that for, and put it in and chew on it yourself. because right now, current generation handhelds, they're already really close to that type of performance level. So you'll have to take that consideration, chew on it a little bit, and all that stuff. Far Cry 6, very similar story. Steam Deck already hits 33 FPS. The base Z1 gets around 30 to 34 FPS. I imagine those numbers might get a little bit better, but we don't know. We don't have our hands on the devices. But since AMD's already given us that 34 number, I don't know if it could get that much better. The Z1 Extreme, you should be able to get better 1% lows here, significantly better than the Steam Deck, so that's always a feather in the cap for that device. And then Forza Horizon 5, everything's already above 60 FPS, so do we really care? I think you'll have a better, more fluid experience with high frame rate games with the Z1 based device, just because you have that variable refresh rate monitor. It's going to be significantly better. It's going to be a lot less choppy. So I think it'll be a more fluid experience overall. And again, with Shadow of the Tomb Raider, we talked about how it's a CPU limited benchmark to begin with. The Z1 Extreme, it flexes its muscles, baby. With the 12 compute units going around 2.2, 2.4 gigahertz, it's already able to get 60 FPS, and you can get a solid 60 out of it. And this is all at 1080p. So I really do think that the ROG Ally is going to be a solid device. And at the end of the day, it's always going to boil down to price. So let's see if we've blown anyone's minds with this kind of data. Kidney exchange service. I think my kidney is worth more than $700. That's just me, though. So let's boil it down. I've got some final thoughts with the ROG Ally. Again, this is all live. We're here at the LANAllNight Expo, and just to put some final thoughts on the ROG Ally, I really do think it's going to be a superb handheld device. I love playing on different handheld devices. I've tested the Neo Geek. I've got the AOK Zoe. We've got the Steam Deck. I had some 1X players in the past. When it comes to high-end x86 handheld gaming, I think the Z1 and the Z1 Extreme-based ROG Ally are going to be a solid step towards a mobile gaming companion that you might be able to replace your desktop with, assuming you only play lower-end games at lower quality settings. It's something I've advocated for a long time. I love desktop APUs, and I think with this type of a mindset, we can finally start to replace some of the baseline beginner-level computing needs with devices like this. You were talking about the external GPU dock. I think that's a solid option, and if you stick with a standard like the Asus Ally's what's it called? External dock, I forget the name of it. Oculink's one of them. Thunderbolt 4. All of that stuff becomes very relevant, and you'll be able to take a mobile PC with you all the time. When it comes to the competitors, a lot of them are also coming out with Z1-based processors or the more standard 7840U, 7640U based CPU or APUs. So I think a lot of those devices, I think Neo has the Neo 2S. AOK Zoe's coming out with their A2 device, which is more of a like an Neo Air form factor, as well as their A1 Pro. I think those would be compelling devices as well. But at least for the AOK Zoe A1 Pro, that has the early bird price of $800, which is ridiculous. I would not recommend spending $800 on this guy. That's what I paid for this on early bird. And I wasn't really thrilled with the quality of the device or the company themselves. So I think having Asus creating this type of a device is going to be very beneficial for the handheld marketplace, and it's going to be a legitimate competitor to the Valve Steam Deck. So let me know, guys, what you think down in the comments below. I'll definitely make more videos as we get more information from Asus, some of the other creators. I might get some sneak peeks into information, But as always, I'll catch you guys in the next video. We're not stopping the stream yet, though. We are going to continue with the next segment. We're going to talk a little bit of gaming news because a lot of stuff has gone on in this past week and a half, 2 weeks. And I think there's some stuff that's really worth dissecting and talking about. So if you want to stick around and support the stream, definitely lower the volume down, keep the video up, all that good stuff, because this is a different format for me. I'm really trying to spend less time when it comes to the production of my videos, because I've got a lot of personal stuff going on the side, and it's just very difficult for me to set up my video setup and then produce videos, edit videos, and all that. So I think going with this type of format and doing a one-time broadcast, chopping it up and redistributing it, I think it makes a lot more sense for me. So this is kind of a, what's it called? It's a beta test. Y'all are beta testers, right? At least you don't have to pay for it, right? This is early access. But the live streams will sound a little more canned than most live streams would be. But I think it'll work out pretty well. With that said, let's get into Terk Gaming News. I haven't even thought of a title for this type of a stream yet because life has just been that busy. But we do have a lot of good stuff to talk about. So the first one I want to talk about is the Activision Blizzard acquisition. So this has been something that's been going on for well over a year at this point. We've heard rumors of the acquisition. They announced the acquisition. Sony's currently trying to fight through the acquisition as well. And from what I have read, it looks like this is actually going forward. Sony has put up their case. We're not going to read through that big block of text, but Sony has put out their case. They've had a bunch of arguments that were pretty lame, and at least from the U.S. perspective, they've been given the green light to go forward with the purchase, which is huge. We had the Bethesda purchase by Xbox last year, and now we have Activision Blizzard getting purchased at the same time. That is massive, and I'm really curious what you guys think about this whole process as well. I've been following Tom Warren over on Twitter as well, and he had a good little posting here. I said back in September that COD concerns were just noise and that the larger regulator concerns would be Microsoft's leverage of Windows and the Azure data cloud infrastructure for game distribution in the future. Here's the CMA today on Microsoft's recent cloud details. This is an excellent guy to go follow over on Twitter. Basically, some of the issues that were coming out is just not really, worth it from Sony's perspective. Let me see what it. Yeah, you're just gonna have to go ahead and read it. I don't have time to read it here on stream. Again, this is all still working through the details and the kinks of it all. But so far, the Activision deal is going forward. There was also a post. I don't have the link for it, but I think there was a tweet somewhere that the EU is actually halting the purchase going forward, and that's actually pretty massive because if Activision isn't able to operate, or Xbox isn't able to operate the Activision asset within the EU, that's a huge marketplace that's going to get disrupted, and I don't know if they'll be able to go forward with only half of the purchase in a big key demographic. So I'm really curious what you guys have to say, so let me know down in the comments what your thoughts on the whole process is. I have some just broad thoughts of the whole acquisition itself. For the most part, when it comes to these larger entities buying somewhat larger entities, is they don't necessarily micromanage those entities. Take, for example, Microsoft buying Bethesda. We're here at a LANAllNight LAN party. It's kind of a subsidiary, not really related to QuakeCon, but Bethesda practically operates as it did in the past. They're just more integrated with what's going on with Microsoft as a whole. So in the future, we're going to have the Redfall release. That's going to be pretty well marketed from Microsoft's perspective. And then with Starfield, they have like the Xbox showcase with the Starfield showcase happening at the same time. I think it's really a benefit to see this level of promotion and integration with larger studios with the primary first-party dev studio, that I think it could really be a good thing. The only downside is sometimes these larger entities have some of their own issues going on. So Activision Blizzard, they've been going through a whole bunch of issues in the state of California with sexual misconduct, workplace harassment, and all that stuff. So it's like, that's not great. And then each of the games that these studios drive have their own levels of drama that may or may not translate well going into a bigger, corporate structure. So I think that in the right instance, this could be a great benefit for us as gamers. But I think if the management teams aren't consolidated and on the same marching path as the larger studio, I think that could begin to be problematic going forward. But again, let me know down in the comments what you guys think, because there's other important tech news. I worded this one weird. On my notes, I said socket bulging. That kind of has a little innuendo into it. But if you're not familiar with that, my connection's not private. That's fine. This isn't my computer either, so I'm not exactly. Oh man, you're not gonna let me go. I might have to look up the link. Bummer. I was hoping to get that link. It's up by itself. I have other links as well. But if you're not familiar, AMD just released their latest Zen 4 based CPUs with the AM5 socket type. This is called the Ryzen 7000 series CPUs. And there have been reports online that users are having their motherboards be damaged and their processors. See that big bulge right there? The bulge is real, my friends. There are legitimate issues going on with this setup. There are some caveats here, and we're starting to get towards the tail end of this news cycle, but AMD has come back and let out some updates to this particular topic. And here we have an article from AnandTech where they talk through AMD's press release about the topic. Let me see if we can zoom in a little bit. This is a little bit older of data. We've got newer data out here, but just so y'all know kind of like the chronology of the story, AMD responded, "We have root caused the issue and have already distributed," this might actually be, excuse me, this might even be the official response. Anyways, "We have root caused the issue and have already distributed a new AGESA firmware that puts measures in place on certain power rails on the AM5 motherboard to prevent the CPU from operating beyond its specification limits, including a cap on SoC voltage at 1.3 volts. We can get into that if y'all want. I don't know if y'all really care. None of these changes should affect the ability of your Ryzen 7000 series processors to overclock memory using Expo or XMP kits or boost the performance with PBO. We expect all of our ODM partners to release new BIOS for their motherboards over the next few days. We recommend all users to check their motherboard manufacturer's website and update their BIOS to ensure their system has the most update to software." And they're also adding in there that they are going to support people that have damaged processors, which I think is good on AMD. They had a relatively quick turnaround when it comes to getting this situation resolved, but the fact that it is an issue to begin with starts to raise some eyebrows, which I cannot unfortunately dive into any further because I know the guy that signed off on it, which isn't great, but it is what it is. So Igor's lab did a really good deep dive into this particular topic, and I think Gamers Nexus may or may not have had a a similar news article coming out as well. But Igor's lab did a little bit of a voltage load analysis as well. They were not able to come to the same physical damage that happened to their parts, but they were able to measure pretty high idle power as well as peak power coming from those particular voltage rails, the SOC voltage. So it's like, this is a real scenario that could happen on your part, but it really depends on the type of part you have and if it's actually going to instigate that sort of damage. I got another article here. Where are we at? This one's posted by Hardware Busters. Another piece of information that kind of deflates the extremity of the bulge. RMA rates are incredibly low when it comes to this particular series of processors. That's resulting from some of Igor's data. Let's see if we have the RMA rates. Yep, this is the last part here in the sentence. Hardware Busters says, I've already talked to some of my industry contacts who told me that RMA rates of the 7000 series are lower than those of the 5000 series. So don't let these stories prevent you from getting a new AMD CPU. A buddy of mine's been messaging me on Discord asking if this bulge issue is something that should be taken into account and keep you from buying. And I want to say that I think everything's been kind of sorted out, and I think the net of it is if you're buying an AM5 platform, particularly with the X3D types of processors, make sure you're downloading the newest and latest BIOS, and doing that is your first thing you do when you boot your system up. Don't set up XMP, do not set up Expo. Get that BIOS updated first. That way you can already integrate the AMD fix and the root cause analysis and bypass any of the potential damage that could come from your part. So don't be scared of, updating your motherboards. It's relatively painless these days. I would always definitely invest in a motherboard that has BIOS flashback capability. That way you don't even have to install the processor in there to get it flashed. But I think if y'all are worried about the AMD bulge, I think you'll be okay. So moving on, the next thing, and this is just a huge S-storm when it comes to gaming news, Jedi Survivor is out, and it has not been a good experience. I got that still up on screen. Yep. What a shame. Ghost Motley posts over on Twitter. What a shame. Looks like another poorly optimized game is inbound. From the included gameplay video, an RTX 4090 with a 5900X and 32 gigs of RAM cannot maintain 60 FPS at 1440p. And it's also using, I find this really funny because, are we talking about that today? Yeah, I canned that from the list. It's using 16 to 18 gigabytes of VRAM at 1440p. Now, just a quick disclaimer on this. VRAM is the amount of RAM that's on your graphics card, and depending on the resolution, assets you're having, and the texture qualities, you need more RAM capacity on your card to run. And this, on the 4090, I think it's got like 24 gigs of VRAM. It's already near its capacity at 1440p. At 4K, it could be 20 gigs of VRAM. It could be some other settings. So this is just ridiculous. Let me see. I can see if I can try and get my current Twitter feed. I'm kind of afraid to post my current Twitter feed. You never know what's going to pop up on there when you're doing a live broadcast. But yeah, pretty much everybody, especially since I think the game has been downloaded or is downloadable. Everyone's just having a bad time. Another post, this one from Sebastian, relaying some information from Redaction, I guess. According to this person, Star Wars Jedi Survivor can allocate up to 22 gigs of VRAM on the RTX 3090 Ti, and 24 gigabyte GPUs like the 4090 and 7900 XT. Just like I said, man, it's ridiculous. As if that wasn't enough, Star Wars Jedi Survivor is also a memory messy. That's weird. If the game is started with maximum details in Ultra HD or 4K, it allocates less than 10 gigs of graphics memory. With each new section of the game, the VRAM continues to fill, and there's no end in sight. After completing the first mission, the memory usage of the 3090, we've already talked about that. This game is not well optimized at all. And that seems to be a pretty common trend in PC gaming this past year. We saw a really bad port of The Last of Us. I think they have a new patch that supposedly fixes the issue. There's also been, what other games were released this year? Oh man, let me know down in chat. My brain is just not firing on all cylinders now. But just the VRAM usage is just Hogwarts Legacy. There we go. Hogwarts Legacy is really bad, especially when you use ray tracing. Not The Last of Us. Not the Protocol. What's the one with that one guy that's from like the Transformers movie? If I had my Steam, I have my Steam library. Let me see if I can get the name real quick. If y'all can let me know in chat what the game is, you get a gold star. Scroll down. There it is. Callisto Protocol. That game is really bad with VRAM. What other games are really bad with VRAM? My scrolly wheel's not very fast. I've got my Steam Deck up for our next segment up here. Elden Ring just doesn't perform very well to begin with. Hogwarts Legacy, we mentioned that one. Spider-Man Remastered gets up there as well with the VRAM issues. New Worlds, geez. Callisto, yep, that's what I mentioned earlier. Returnal, that's a really big hog for the VRAM, but that game does perform a little bit better than all these other ones, so that's an interesting one as well. And they must be on some of my other launchers, or I don't have them on my Steam Deck. So yeah, the Jedi Survivor is just a huge dumpster fire. It's not well optimized for PC, and I even have heard reports that on the PlayStation 5 as well as the Xbox that it's just not well optimized for those platforms either. I made a tweet the other day that a lot of people are going to say this is due to the development crunch and how developers just don't have enough time to polish these types of games. Now, I'm a hardware developer professionally, and there are elements to crunch that are real, but I also think some of it is a little bit overstated, because as a developer, you typically have the opportunity to set your own timelines, work with your management chain in order to deliver, your products and deliverables. And I think this is just an indication of poor management when it comes to developing these products. So I really wish that development wasn't so back-end heavy, in that, you got this 5-year development window that can start to push some of this development window into like the second, third, or fourth year, rather than shoving all the bug fixing and stuff into that 5th year. So it's a really bad indication of where our industry is, and I think we could do a really better job as far as consumers and not buying these games before launch, because that's just going to incentivize these studios to keep making these decisions. So take that for what it's worth. But that I haven't bought Jedi yet, because I know it was going to be bad to begin with. Next bit of tech news. NVIDIA is limiting their GPU production due to excess inventory. That could lead to the GeForce RTX 40 price cuts if things don't improve. Y'all have been if y'all have been trying to buy a GPU these past few years, we're now in a buyer's market of trying to get a GPU. NVIDIA is reporting that they're cutting their production of GPUs, specifically the 4070 series, because they're just sitting on shelves. People aren't buying them, and I think a lot of consumers are really just tired of the exorbitant prices that are coming from all the different GPU sales. Luckily for AMD, they are priced a bit more competitively, but they're also in a similar boat where their higher end cards just aren't really selling all that well, like the 7900 XT specifically. I think the XTX and the 4090 are still selling really well because they perform so well. It's just those lower end cards just aren't doing as hot. Now, there's a couple different issues I see going forward with this specifically. We do have some upcoming graphics cards that are going to be announced and released. RTX 4060 Ti, we have a video here on the channel about that. That's already rumored to have seen a price cut from the reported $500 that it was going to be sold as, and it's now being reported as $450. So if things keep coming up, I could definitely see an instance where we start to see the mid to lower range GPUs from this current generation start to get a bit cheaper, which is a great thing for buyers. But if you look at AMD's side of things, they haven't even announced a 7800 XT. There are rumors. Do I talk about that today? Let me see. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Yeah, we don't talk about that today. There are rumors that in May, I think Moore's Law is Dead posted this one. In May, AMD is supposed to be announcing their 7600 XT graphics cards, which skips two complete different product segments of the AMD card. We don't have a 7800. We don't have a 7700. So why would they just announce the 7600 XT? Couple of thoughts on that from my perspective. The pricing could just be that they want to compete on the lower to mid range, and they think that that card itself could be worth picking up because people aren't buying 4080s, 4070 Ti's, or 4070s. So why would you go ahead and release graphics cards that typically compete in that same product segment? So going straight to the 7600 XT, that kind of shortcuts the 3060 or the 4060 Ti, 4060, and get them a little bit of a competitive edge when it comes to current gen GPUs on the lower end to mid-range scale. The other thing, I still think that there's a hardware design issue with the NVIDIA Navi 33, 32, and 31s, and they only just recently got their 33 to a point that they can make it perform as good as they would like and sell that and produce a product that's competitive with NVIDIA. Now, I don't have any confirmation on that stuff, but I do think that that's kind of where we're at when it comes to AMD's game plan going into the next couple months. Computex is going to be coming up right around the corner, so we're definitely going to see an NVIDIA keynote there. They might introduce another graphics card, and then AMD. I don't think they're keynoting it, but I do know they'll be announcing stuff there. So I think May is going to be a pretty hot month in terms of announcements. So make sure y'all subscribe to the channel and all that good stuff, because I'll be posting that and doing these types of news reels with a bit more polish, a little more preparation. But dude, I appreciate y'all sticking with the stream. Next news topic. RTX 4060 has been spotted. This is a single post. I didn't see much verbiage on it from the Twitterverse, but MSI is preparing some 4060 level all-in-one computers, and they have actually posted the information to their different web pages. And there's a couple different things to keep in mind that are kind of alarming when it comes to us as gamers. I hope you see this highlighted part in the stream. Let me make sure I'm on there. Yeah. The 4060 and 4060 Ti are pegged to be 8 gigabyte cards. And this goes back into the VRAM discourse. Do you want to buy a $400 graphics card, maybe $500 graphics card that only has 8 gigabytes of VRAM? I think Hardware Unboxed has done a really good job of trying to explain that conundrum with their communities and trying to investigate the breaking points for several different games. I'm a little torn with this particular graphics card. in some of my previous videos, I did the golden age of 4K video. 4K gaming sucks. And how to fix the 4060 Ti. I mentioned some of these issues a bit, and I think we're in this like transition space where the entry-level 60 series graphics cards are now kind of more of a mid-range series graphics card because our performance levels and our expected performance have kind of elevated more from what they were a few years ago. So this 8GB 4060, 8GB 4060 Ti is 1440p now our baseline gaming setup for a PC, or should we be going into more extensive scenarios? So to me, I think an 8GB 4060 Ti, it's not necessarily a bad thing, unless this is a 4K card. If it's not a 4K card, I could argue it being 8 gigabytes. But I wouldn't disagree with many people that it should have at least 10 or 12. More VRAM is always better. And I'm of the same thought process as Hardware Unboxed, that AMD definitely should be sticking to 16 and 12 gigabytes as their kind of competitive edge there. But I also think, and this might even be a separate video for an upcoming news video stream that we do here, there's some software trickery that could be done to help alleviate some of these VRAM constraints that we're seeing these days, primarily with direct storage. The entire purpose of that type of solution is to offload some of the texture streaming that goes from the memory, from the hard drive, to RAM, to your CPU, to your GPU, and instead it bypasses the CPU's constraints on it, and it just goes straight from RAM to the GPU. And the GPU there would then uncompress the textures and do what it needs to do. I think that would be a huge benefit for games to start to implement in mass, but they also have to implement correctly. I think Forspoken is one of the few games that has direct storage currently set up with it, and it doesn't work well at all. So it's not just, load times and all that stuff. It's actually the loading, uncompression, and implementation of the asset into the game itself that needs to be worked on a bit. So if y'all want to see more VRAM content and stuff from me, definitely let me know. And that's good stuff. All right, last up. Yep, we talked about that. Last up in our news segment is going to be the Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X sales slump. So in the first quarter sales call, as reported from, Eurogamer Digital Foundry, Xbox Series X and S sales are struggling as Microsoft reports gaming revenue down 4%. I believe, so gaming revenues, like all of their gaming, so that's Xbox Game Pass sales, games they sell under their own label, and all that stuff. But I want to say there's actually a percentage, it might not be in this one. Yeah, let me see. Oh, where is it? It's not in this article. But anyways, the year over year, let's just see if we can Google it real quick. (2023). Yep, there we go. That's perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. So here we have the PlayStation 5 versus Xbox Series S and X. And in 2023 versus 2022, there has been a 24% drop in console sales and hardware for the Xbox Series X and Series S. And what's even funnier is PlayStation 5 prices are going through the roof. They're over 77% year over year in console sales, which is massive. And I don't know the accuracy of this data, But look at that market share there, folks. Xbox Series X and S at 16%. That's not a good spot to be, especially for one of the three main creators of consoles. And Nintendo's just got the Nintendo Switch. So Xbox is in a really tricky spot right now because they're doing the Blizzard Activision purchase. We talked about that at the beginning of the news segment. And they're going through all this other stuff. But if they're not able to sell consoles to match the software they're trying to deliver, that just spells disaster when it comes to having a hardware division. So I really think that Xbox needs to do something in order to spur purchasing for Xbox Series X. Maybe that's like a Xbox Slim or something. I don't know. It could be the ROG Ally helps them out by bundling in Game Pass into that. Maybe subsidizing Asus a little bit, getting a little bit of a royalty payment on that handheld. I just think that Xbox is in a really tough spot when it comes to just sales in general. But we'll have to wait and see how they do for the rest of the year. Because, we're in a economic downturn, kind of a recession. So not a lot of people are wanting to buy stuff, but they're buying PlayStation 5. So take that for what it's worth. So that is the gaming news that I thought was very interesting this past year, geez. It has been a week. I've been juggling a lot of stuff personally. So let me know down in the comments, guys, what kind of news stories y'all want to see going into next week. And what do y'all think of this format? Do y'all like the way we're doing it more live stream style, or should I polish it up a lot more? Give me some advice and your recommendations for this spot going forward, because we're trying to kind of streamline the production of videos here on the channel. And I think doing less like post-production is probably the best fit for me. I just can't spend 6 hours editing a video, especially if it's going to be like news like this. This is the kind of format you would want to do for news. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Let's check in on the YouTube comments. Danica Paul is still hanging with the stream. I do appreciate you, my friend. Selling an RTX 4060 as RTX 4070 as for 600. It's supposed to be 329. Yeah, I did a video. Look, I wonder if I can pull that up in a video. Let me see if I got. I'm going to post this to chat. I did post a video. It wasn't well received. It only got 600 views, which not great, but it's at least something. But that video I just posted to chat. I talked about the pricing, performance, and the ratios and all that for the past, 10 years, 20, 15 years of GPUs. And yeah, I agree with you. I think the pricing has not kept in line with the performance that's being delivered. And I think NVIDIA is trying to kind of jump up a performance tier without actually adjusting its pricing tier, which is not good. It's kind of shady. But I think the performance, at least on the higher end of NVIDIA, it kind of tracks, especially that 4090. The 4090 is awesome. Alrighty. So that's all we got on the YouTube comments. So this is the main segment of the stream where we're actually going to start doing more of a technology discussion or product review or some of my more, longer form content that I do here on the channel. And here we are. We're at the LANAllNight Gaming Festival here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in Texas. And if you're not familiar with LAN parties, they're really fun events. Basically, people bring their computers and power cables, monitors, and all that stuff, and they bring it into a room. They play video games on end, and they just have a good time playing with friends. I can actually probably show the camera around. Let me get the screen up real quick. So here we're at LANAllNight. That's the llama that we, our little mascot. But we have all sorts of cool stuff. So over here, we're going to have vendors and stuff. There's a cosplay contest that's going on. We've got, sorry about the light. We've got registration and stuff over there, and then we've got the LAN center over here to my right. And this is probably one of the higher end LAN experiences. You know, I've done LAN parties all my life, and it's just really good to be around a bunch of gamers and stuff. But the problem is, if you're coming to an event like this, do you want to be lugging around your massive gaming computer, or do you want to bring a laptop? But laptops are problematic because, you know, the screen, you're like looking down at your monitor like that. It's not really great. So are there any alternatives? Well, if you've been following the channel, I'm kind of curious how one of these bad boys would handle for a gaming experience. Now, we might have technical difficulties here because we never really fully fledged all this stuff. But I have my Steam Deck with me today, and I have my AOK Zoe A1, and we're going to see if it can handle some of these standard LAN party tasks that are required in order to have a good time. Let me check my notes real quick. We talked about LAN parties. We've talked about handhelds as well. So why would you pick, or why would you use a handheld device rather than your gaming rig? Actually, I could probably, let's do a little show and tell here. Sorry if this looks weird. Sorry if it sounds bad. But here we have our gaming computer. Let me see if I can alt-tab to this real quick. So this is our gaming streaming PC that we're using for this event. If you're streaming up here, this is the type of computer you're using. But look at it. It's big. It's massive. You have to bring all your mouse, keyboard, monitor, all that stuff. Would you rather just bring that? That's my Steam Deck and my JSOX dock. And I've got a couple cables for my mouse, my keyboard, my power. And that's it. Would you rather bring a small amount of hardware and play, basic settings for a weekend? Or would you rather lug your huge, massive setup and do that? So the Steam Deck, if you're not familiar, most of you guys that are watching my channel are, it's an all-in-one setup. It's got RDNA 2 based graphics. It's got 8 compute units. It's really good at 720p, but most LAN parties are 1080p. So we got to do some sort of upscaling in order to get to that performance level. But depending on the game, it may or may not matter. Let's see if we can throw my picture on here real quick. Webcam. Boom. So again, we might hit technical difficulties here. I'm the first streamer for this entire LAN party, and I don't think we have audio. Oh, microphone. Have I had echo this entire time? Okay, I just had a entire brain fart. I think we're good. Audio input capture. That's microphone. Uh-oh. Okay, that might work. Yeah, like I said, this is the technical difficulty part. I've got it in my my JSOX dock, but I'm not exactly sure if the audio's not coming in my headphones. I don't think the audio's working. Yep. I think I got the echo sorted. Oh, wrong keyboard. There's mic noise. Yep. I'm just going to remove that. That wasn't it. But at least the echo should be gone now. I hear something. What am I plugged into? I'm plugged into the front audio. Nope. Yeah, for whatever reason, the audio... Oh, it's not even capturing my display either. That's not good. Let's do this. By the way, this is all going to get cut from the official video. This is... black screen. Video capture device. Let's add my webcam. There we go. I keep seeing Princess Peach walking around and it keeps distracting me.
Hi, I'm sorry.
It's fine. I saw that Mario movie and I actually liked how Peach behaved. She did a really good job. Helped motivate Mario to get his act together. Okay, so that's Nick's, but it's not the right output. I've jumped into my game. Let's see if we can reboot. We'll reboot this machine. I wonder if I can disable it. Come on, baby. It's not the webcam. This is... I'm going to message Foxius. Foxius is in charge of the stream today and or the streaming setup today. And this capture card's not that great. So let me message him real quick. Cool. We'll keep fiddling with it. But yeah, my Steam Deck is not booting properly. Let's go back to the face cam. That should be good. And we'll work on this in the side. Let me see if I can get set up so I can see y'all's chats. You can see Steam. Yeah, it's not the right Steam window. That's the problem, though. Yeah, it's just not the right Steam setup, and it's not getting the full HD output. So that's the webcam. But the webcam's already being used. I'm pretty sure it's full HD. Okay, so it works now. Yeah, see, it's working now. I don't know. Gotta love streamer luck sometimes, you know? It's like you want to play a game, you capture card you think works right, but it just doesn't work right. But we're good. We're cooking now. The only thing we don't have is audio. Let's see if we can fix that. So Nick's... This is full screen. The microphone's good. Desktop audio. I don't think that's what we want. I want the Nick's audio. Nope, that didn't do it. I don't want to touch that because usually when you do the capture, mess with the capture card while you're streaming, it's not a good time. Output desktop audio. It could be I don't have it set up on the Steam Deck properly. I need to get out of the game and configure the Steam Deck to output to the HDMI, I think. Steam settings, audio. So that should be pumping out through. So that's speakers. Yeah, the problem is the audio's not coming out of the headphones. Output is coming from speakers. Speakers is plugged into microphone. Okay, so that's... Nope, that's not it either. That's a bummer, man. I don't want to play the game and y'all at least not be able to hear it. Let's unconnect this. Let's try this. Default auto, that should be good. Input device, microphone, I guess. Enable UI sounds, yeah, we want that. Output. Oh, we fixed it. Hot dog. Granted, I can't hear it, but y'all can at least hear it, right? All right. So let's start off with Counter-Strike because, of course, there's a game update. Why wouldn't there be a game update? So I don't have the HUD open, but I'm running at 15 watts. FSR is turned on. We're going to try and run native in these games first, and then we'll have to downgrade it to like upscaled stuff. But for now, we're running on the Steam Deck. We got audio. Hopefully it's not going to blow your ears out, but we shall see. Hey, Lion, I fixed the audio for the capture card.
You fix it?
Yeah.
What was up with it?
For whatever reason, the HDMI wasn't picking it up. Lion's the guy in charge of audio, or he's in charge of a lot of the tech stuff. What's the Anubis collection? I still haven't gotten my... I haven't gotten added to... Oh, it's only doing 1720? That's one of the things with the Steam Deck you got to keep in mind. So there's a couple places we have to actually set some configuration options for docked mode to work properly. The first one is in display. You have to go and change your resolution to your desired monitor. Sometimes you can do automatically set your resolution, but it doesn't work 100% of the time. So I just go ahead and hard set it to the monitor I'm going to use. The second place you have to then modify it is for the game. So the game pings back at that one resolution sometimes. Other times it goes to some bogus value, which default for the Steam Deck is either 800p or 720p. I'm going to go ahead and just tell it to go to 1080p. I don't need that one. But we should be at 1080p now. Let's start it back up. All right. I'm so proud of myself. Usually when I stream, I like to I don't like to do debug stuff. I wonder if I can like pipe this through my headphones only. Advanced audio properties. Fucked. So y'all are gonna have depth perception and like the ability to tell where enemies are. I don't have that luxury. But one thing I like to do is when I do benchmarks for Counter-Strike, I always download this specific game and this specific match because it was a good match. And it's very reproducible except for one specific spot. And this is where I can get a really good, accurate indication of just how well the game is going to be able to play in docked mode at 1080p native resolution on our Steam Deck. So we'll set this as a baseline first, then we'll run the actual game. Audio seems to be good there. Oop, 8. I always watch my boy Skadoodle. He does a pretty good job in the second and third match. What frame rate? We're getting a capped 60 FPS. I don't know if that's V-synced or not.
On the CT side, Cloud9 will start as they mean to go on.
I wonder if this is another GameScope bug. Dude, GameScope, I love the concept, but it is not great. What settings am I?
Already going to see some nades used here by Cloud9. They want to go up
We're running esports settings, everything low. When I interviewed some professional Counter-Strike players, they actually have shader detail set to high. They usually disable the contrast one.
But it's not going too well.
But yep, everything else is, that one's supposed to be off, but whatever. We're getting plenty of performance, 60 FPS.
What you might find in a rifle round.
So yeah, I wish I could skip ahead.
They slow the round down.
Let's see if any other players are doing
CT
good.
Spawn, leaving Nico alone. Dependable Nico. Worst case scenario on the B bomb site, should it be required. Cloud9, I hear a click of a Glock. Is that burst fire? Is that a single shot?
It really sucks not having audio on my end. But we'll get it figured out. Richard Crawford coming into the stream late, scrolling through from earlier. Looks like the Ally performs 50 to 90% faster, but uses 100% more power. Doesn't have 2 times the battery capacity. Richard, if you're still in the stream, no, it does not have twice as much battery capacity. The ROG Ally only has a 40 watt-hour battery. So if you're running at 15 watts, it should be very comparable to the Steam Deck. If it's running at 30 watts is what has been claimed by ROG, AMD, and all that, the performance is not going to be great. And your battery life is going to be less than an hour, because if you're running at 30 watts already, plus the like 15 to 20 watts for the screen, memory, all that other stuff, you're already at a total system power of 45 plus watts, which is not a good time. So yeah, I would expect running in that 30 watt mode to be specifically for docked mode, kind of like what we're doing here. I will say though that if you missed the stream, I'm going to be uploading all of these different segments as separate videos, and I'll post-produce as minimal as I can.
slow.
That ROG
told them in
segment
the
was a
previous
solid
map that this
30
might
to
be a
45
possibility,
minutes.
so
It
they
won't
will
be
start
much chopped up,
3 towards A,
but I
2
talked
towards B for
about
first
30
really
watt
like this approach
performance
from Cloud9. I
as
think it
well
really
as
suits their style.
speculative
They just really
15
like to
watt
keep the pressure up,
performance
and it's
based on
something that you get the
historic
ability to do when you get
figures
the
from
bomb plant.
AMD,
So I really like
as
how
well
they
as
slow the
kind
round
of
down the
a
pistol, they play
hive
for the
mind
plant, they secure that,
mentality
and
of what's
from that
going
point
on
forward, even if you
with
lose the round, you're in a good
us
position like
handheld
this. And
creators.
as James
So
said,
I
you know,
think
it's very hard to
just
face
check
and know
back.
exactly
I
what's
might
up. They
post
don't
it
wanna risk
tomorrow.
anything, so they're playing
It
very
might be
passively, and they don't have any
today
information at the
sometime.
moment. And this
But
could
yeah,
be very
definitely
devastating because
check back
Cloud9
on the
looking
channel.
ready to go onto this B
Oh,
bomb
the
site.
30 watt
They
is
are
specifically
packing
just the
with
chip,
those
not the
AKs.
whole system with the screen. Yep,
Any flashes for the
it
T
is
side,
pretty
flashes
brutal.
for the
Yeah, the
CT,
30
Jackals
watt
delaying
numbers
things, the smoke
are
as well. Nico
pretty
controls the position, but now
disingenuous.
comes the
I can
knockback, and they're both down.
post
That's
those
an
up
M4
real
and
quick.
an MP7 to be
if you're
collected.
curious.
Maybe some confusion from Cloud9. Stewie goes back, Stewie goes forth,
I
Stewie
think I
loses the
still have
bomb.
that
There's a
data.
gap. They've got time. They can focus on position for the time
me
being.
pull it
They've
up real
got
quick.
a strong armory now. Automatic.
I
It's on the
think
Deagle, but there is an
this
M4
is the
down on
picture
the
you
site. Is he able to get to it?
Yep.
Not
Let me
seconds
just
and on
show
for the
this
time being, just
real
watching
quick.
for a flank. So when it comes
Moral
on
of the
site
story,
itself,
at least
it's a
with the
3v3.
Steam
That
Deck
said, Stewie
in
actually
Counter-Strike
darting back
at a
in,
LAN
and
party,
3 players with
it
the
should be
crossfire into
playable.
the
We'll play it
position.
here in a
They'll shut
second.
down the front
But
of
I
the
do
bridge,
want to
but here
talk
comes
to
the remainder out of construction,
our friend
and
here,
that's gonna be
Mr.
very,
Richard.
very bad look
He
here for FaZe.
talks to me on
Almost
Discord
can't
and
quite seem to move
Twitter
forwards to find a
quite
headshot.
But here's that data you were looking at. So basically, everything here is normalized by the Steam Deck, and the gradient bars are speculated based on the power scaling of the 6800U and just directly applied to the Z1 processors. So we should expect the base Z1 at 15 watts to be about 30 to breaking even with the Steam Deck. And then for the Z1 Extreme, we should expect it to be in that 20 to 30% performance improvement range. And Forza Horizon 5, I would consider that kind of an outlier. I'm not exactly sure why Asus went with that figure specifically. It's not really a good game for a benchmark these days, but at least it's a figure and it's realistic. So hopefully that gives you the TLDR on that one.
There are plenty of times where I can have a.
But again,
less than
I go into it in
less
much
than
more detail
desirable
in our
performance,
earlier
but this
segments.
Is not it. Cloud9 now, a man down. Well, they've lost a man.
I haven't talked this much in a stream in ages.
Force fight. They've been good. They pushed sites with good timing on the previous maps, but will they be good for this one?
But we've been streaming live for an hour and 50 minutes, guys. I do appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. We're at the LANAllNight Gaming Festival here in the DFW area. This LAN party's been around for 4 years or so now. This is the 8th event they've held. It's been going on through the COVID times, and it's a really good group of people. You'll see me glancing around. We're kind of stationed right in the entry and registration zone. So we get to see everybody as they walk in. They get to say hi and all that good stuff.
Do it before.
But yeah, the LAN event is right behind me. There's a big dark room full of computers and stuff. So it's pretty cool. They've also got a side room set up for tabletop gaming, which is really cool. They're going to have more of that stuff popping off probably 5 o'clock or so tonight once people get off work. Tomorrow's really the main star of the show, so that'll be really cool. And then I think the other room, you got a little on-stage area where they're going to do contests, raffles. They have some presentations and stuff, skits and stuff. So yeah, it's a really solid experience. It's a really cool LAN party. I've enjoyed coming here for the past however many years, and I like helping out with putting this out on the internet. I think this is being streamed to the LANFEST Twitch page.
I think they may sack a player, they may sacrifice one. Here come the grenade towards the bench.
But we'll have to check that after the end, because we've already confirmed that the Steam Deck 1080p Counter-Strike works mighty fine. So let's play against some bots. We're going to do a little... We'll play with hardcore level bots, at least. I'm not much of a Counter-Strike player, but we will play Dust 2 because you got to play Dust 2 at a LAN party. We'll play against expert bots. You can't see it on the picture, but yeah, we just want a casual. I'm pretty sure casual is a game setting. So let's try that out. We're playing live now, so this is the actual gameplay. We'll see how I do. I haven't warmed up. I take that back. I've played one game while being here at the LAN party, and that was Diablo 2 Resurrected. I was doing some rune finding last night. I didn't find anything. Got really crap drops from Mephisto. My Merc constantly died. We could probably play that later as well. I'm supposed to be playing for 3 hours of stream time. And we're just having a good time. If y'all have got questions and stuff, definitely feel free to let me know. This is definitely the more laid back part of the stream. I can answer any of your questions AMA style. Match is paused. Why? Why is the match paused? How do I unpause the match? How do I start the match? Choose team, counter-terrorist. How do you unpause the match? I wanted to start off with Counter-Strike because this is a Valve game and it should play on potato hardware. I did want to throw a softball, but I didn't want the match to just pause. All right. How do you unpause a match? I can't believe I'm having to Google how. How can I resume the match when playing offline with bots? Someone's calling me. Restarting the game and going to the offline match first. That seems really... I wonder if there's any LANs. Practice with bots. Casual. Extra bots. Open party. I might have to restart the game. That's so funny. I wonder when other cosplayers are going to show up. I have no clue if I'm screaming. These headphones are really good at isolating voice. So I have no clue if I'm being obnoxious for the entire event. But that's kind of my job, right? I want to shoot somebody in the game. We'll give it one more try. We did watch that demo. That demo could have screwed it up for some reason. That seems really dumb, but it happens. But yeah, we got lots of people here, man. This is awesome. All right. Play CSGO. Practice with bots. Expert bots. Casual match. Let's do it. I want to say I'm fairly decent at these types of arena shooters. Are y'all privy to the Act Man arena shooter meme? That was a while back. He caught. That's a whole meme. Definitely go check my Twitter feed and look for my posts about what's it called? Arena shooters. That was a fun time. Okay, so it's working now. That's so dumb. There we go. They're going B. We're going to go A. So up at the top, we have our performance numbers. Top middle, where it says game scope, is our performance. We do look to have like VSync turned on, so that. Oop. Oh, there's a guy right there. I'm already dead. I should have been focusing. Bot Rick, what do you got? I feel bad. That was terrible for me. Up at the top, we're only burning like 5 watts of CPU, or on our APU, so it's very, very decent. But I gotta say, I feel really bad that I was the first one to die on my team. And bot Kurt is dead. ROG Ally Sweep. How you doing, Hawashi? Hoshi? We talked about the ROG Ally earlier. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask, though. We'll be posting all of that content up later today. That way y'all can get your informations as much as you need. But yeah, I'm really excited for the ROG Ally myself. I think it's going to be pretty slick. Right now we're testing a handheld running in a LAN party environment, which is a really cool concept from my perspective, because I don't want to have to lug around a bunch of extra hardware if I don't have to. Man, where are these bots? And so far, at least with Counter-Strike, at esports settings, it looks to be a pretty decent experience at 1080p native. This may not be the same case for all games. I've got a bunch of other games already on my deck. Ooh. Oh, it might help if I had my audio, too. I had no idea they planted the bomb. Oh, well. But it's playing okay. I just want to show you guys I can actually game. All right. We're going B. No oppers out there. Okay. Fun fact, back in the days of 1.6, I played Cal Open. I actually played in a couple matches during my freshman year in college. Finally got a kill. And we were okay. We were like 2-2. We weren't great or anything. So they went A. Yep. They planted the bomb. Apex won't run on Proton, right? Nope. Apex works on a Steam Deck. And it plays pretty well, too. They're not guarding the bomb? They're in that corner. But yeah, Apex runs on a Steam Deck pretty well. The problem I have with Apex this is battle royales in general. I'm not good at going into an open area and getting shot at from behind. I hate that. I'm more of the tactical shooter type. I like to, pie corners and all that stuff. And I enjoy it more than, those open battle royale kind of things. I will say I do like Warzone Resurgence mode, though. Because at least in that mode, I can die without... oh, they went B or A short. Oh, I got that headshot. Oh, they all went that. They all went short. Nice. I got 2 kills. Or 3 kills that round, not 2. Quake Arenas, yeah. I didn't grow up playing Quake, actually. I grew up playing Counter-Strike. But I definitely have played my fair share of Quake. We'll be playing a lot of Quake Live tonight. This is a this LAN party is full of people that have done QuakeCon a lot, and they actually have like Quake clans that come out here, and it's super big. I'll be going to QuakeCon in August. I finally got some Ks, man. Where are you at, teammates? Where are you at? Got him. Finally, jeez. They're going B. Get him, Rock. These bots are so stupid, man. How many more we got? We're 2 and 3, so I think we flip after 5, right? Nope, we don't. Is it 7? The rare mid push. Oh, there's a guy right there. I can't wait to play Counter-Strike 2. I was really hoping to... ooh, got rocked there. I was really hoping to get a beta code because I benchmark Counter-Strike quite a bit for the channel. And I thought I would have gotten it, but apparently not. But I'm really looking forward to Counter-Strike 2 getting released. It's going to be a fun game. It'll be the exact same as Counter-Strike. But, you know, it is what it is. There's Mr. Faxius. He's already in his toga. That's funny. Yeah, once we do the team swap, we'll play the next game. I'm getting a little tired of this. Playing against bots in a match-style game is kind of boring, you know? But so far, this game plays fine. It looks okay. I myself would turn on some of the anti-aliasing a little bit. But that's just me. I want him to go long. Yep, got the audio sorted out. For whatever reason, it just wasn't coming out the HDMI. It took a little persuasion.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, it was working on the gaming PC, so. But we got the audio going to the stream at least.
I'll take that.
Yep. Very cool. How many rounds are in a Counter-Strike match? I thought it was 5. $30 rounds. Ugh. Ain't nobody got time for that. So right now we're 3 and 3. What's crazy is I'm top fragging for my team. I feel like I haven't been doing all that well. So this is round 8. We'll go to 10 rounds. We'll see if we can do we can win top 10 rounds. So far we are. We would need to win 2 more rounds, I think. So they're not over here. It appears these bots are... Ooh, right there. I got one of them. I was going to say, it appears these bots are all going in the same area and not splitting up. Enter Maripovich meme. Turns out what you said is a lie. All right, we only got one dead terrorist and 2 dead counter-terrorists. They have planted the bomb at A, so we need to get our act together. Yeah, what's bot? Kurt, what are you doing? Kurt, what are you doing? What cool thing, this is kind of a side, I do a bunch of deep learning stuff for my career doing hardware development. I'm really curious if they will start using some of the GPU AI stuff to like create smarter AI for games. Because like you could see how that guy's cursor was all over the place. I wonder if there's a way they can use some of the machine learning stuff to like train these bots to, you know, better aim based on like the scene that they see. Because like that's how some of the image detection stuff works. They're able to like tell the gradient of pixels and like tell where like eyes and stuff are. Damn, I died again. Because these guys are just sitting there chilling. But yeah, this guy's using a shotgun. Like, really? Rock. Get your shit together, man. Oh, we're totally going to lose. So this is the tying round. Yeah, so we have to win this one, or we have lost. So we have to win this round, or we've lost. Yep, there's one. Got one. There's 2 over here. Oh, shoot. He got me with the spray, man. All right, I don't care. It's bots. So we have conclusively stated that we can play Counter-Strike Global Offensive with the Steam Deck at a LAN party. Full res. Gotta go, bro. It's super late here. Appreciate you stopping by. Thank you very much for watching the stream. I hope you hit the subscribe button and come back for more, because we will be talking more about the ROG Ally and all that good stuff in due time. So thank you for sticking by, man. The next game everybody likes to play, Quake Live. Of course, that's got to work on the Steam Deck. So let's give this a go. Yeah, I think if they were able to make AI, I know this error. I think I saw that error whenever I was trying this out at my house. There's some 1920. Oop. Yeah, it's this one. Nums. The problem is the resolution does not match the monitor. That got me last time. That should work right there. All right, here we go. Now, Nope, we don't want to change it. Cool, we are in the game now. Sweet. I don't know if anyone is playing right now. We can check the Discord and see if anyone's playing on. We have some like dedicated servers and stuff. Where are you? There we go. LANAllNight. I'm just cruising the Discord to see if they've got a Quake Live server running. I imagine they do. The problem is Discord is not a good spot. Game server info. They've got Minecraft, Quake Live. Okay. Match browser. I think it's just join, right? How do you join? Is it connect? Console command to join a game. There we go. Connect. I was close. Cool. Oh, that's not the right one. It's not the right IP. Connect 182.2.169.197.182.210. No, not 211. 210. There we go. There we go. We finally got it. I don't know if anyone's playing, so this may be in vain. Unpure client. What? Did I just get UAC kicked from the Quake Live server? All right, let's just create a server. We're going to play against some bots. These bots, this game's a little more conducive to bots, though. Start a match. Maximum players, minimum players, 8. Match password. All right. I think this is those are the right settings. Boop. All right, here we go. Boom. All right, here we go. Oh, he's already got a lightning gun. I got wrecked pretty quick. The sensitivity on this mouse is ridiculous. Nice. 2 kills. So we're at... excuse me. We're running at about 4 watts, 1080p. Quake Live. So I would say this is completely doable. Oh, come on. Real good. I need a health. Oh, quad damage. I need health. I need armor. Oh, no! Almost died with quad damage. Come on, Orb. Come here. Ah, I finally died. Oh, there's the railgun. Ooh. These guys are insane. Oh, I got the armor, I think. Yep. Ah, dang. That was close. We'll go this full round, and then we'll play another game. I don't know if I have another game installed on my Steam Deck, but we'll give it a shot. Ooh. Point blank rocket. Oh, I knew someone was coming. There's a health thingy. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Got him. Got him. Oh. I got a speed skill achievement there. That's good. I hate this gun. Ugh. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, wow. I actually got a kill with, with the pea shooter. Where'd he go? Ah, dang. He got the armor. Come on, Daimia. I'm getting sloppy. The pea shooter is not good. Oh, there we go. Plasma. Oh, did I get it? Come here, dummy. Ooh. Got me from the top. Bummer. No, stop stealing my guns. Come here, Visor. Nice. Got him. I need health, though. Not ammo, health. Come here, Orby. Ah. I'm usually decent with rockets, but for whatever reason, none of those connected. Oh, give me the plasma. Oh, come on. Nice. My killing streak is done. Or my dry streak, I should say. Oh, bugger. Oh, quad damage. Come on. No, I'm going to die. Oh, no. Quad damage spawned. Quad damage with the pea shooter is always fun. Oh, come on. I got shot from behind. That's no fun. I keep spawning where there's no guns. I think that's one of my critical issues. I keep spawning where there's no guns. Oh, double kill. Nice. I need health. Shouldn't have been typing on the keyboard there, dude. Ooh, point blank. I just need some health. Where's the health bars? Oh, nice. I picked that one off. A lot of my kills are coming from the shotgun. That makes me feel bad. Come Come here, Visor. Railgun. Come here. Let me flex my railgun skills. Ugh. I just killed myself. In the game. Ooh, Orby, come here. Ah, damn. So how long does this game go? Ooh, is that the railgun? Yeah, boy. All right, newbies. Overshot him. I almost got 2 kills right there. Headshot. Headshot. All right, they're coming for me. They've seen me up here. Oh, come on. Oh, how did I miss? How did I miss? How did I miss? Like, I'm hitting these guys. I hit him again. There we go. Finally got a freaking kill with it. I need some health. Health bar. Oh, there's health. Oh, I missed it. Nice. Orby was stuck. Oh, did I get 2? I think there's armor up here. Yeah, finally. Finally got some armor. Oh, and some health. Oh, diggy dog. Diggy dog. Got him. Nice. Yeah, a lot of these guys, I think, are getting armor. I just pressed R to reload. That's not how this game works, Terk. Oh, got him. Got him. Come on, Dominia. Whatever your name is. I haven't died in a while. That's good. Ah, bummer. I was hoping there was some armor. I wish I had sound. Oh, dang. I finally died. Ooh, there's the red armor. Don't... Got it. I, like, sneezed on him and he died. Oh, shoot. I shot myself. Oh, there's a quad damage guy down there. Hey there, Damia. Oh wow, I got the kill with the pea shooter. That character, not so good. Boop. Sniped, 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 sniped. Oh, my ankle hurts so bad. When I was leaving my hotel this morning, I twisted my ankle. I thought the rail gun was like an instant kill. Or is that only in the insta-gib mode? When does this match end? Because I think I'm done playing this match, man. Time limit 15 minutes. How long have we played? I think I'm done. Leave match. We're out. Moral of the story there. Quake Live plays fine on a Steam Deck. Shocker, I know. Do I have any other good games on here? So, Halo Infinite. That's always a classic. Now, this one I think is going to be the most difficult to play because it's a modern It's a modern game. Was released in the past, within the last 2 years. And even at native resolution, the game does not play well. But, on the Steam Deck at least. But there are some interesting things we can try with the Steam Deck in order to improve our performance. Namely, dynamic resolution scaling. I don't think this game has FSR built in, though. But supposedly, the upscaler is pretty decent. But I appreciate everybody sticking on the stream. I hope y'all are having a good one. We're just here at LANAllNight. This is a gaming festival here in the... the game crashed? Yeah, the game crashed. Interesting. It's a gaming festival here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and it's going to be happening all day today, tomorrow, and then I think it ends on Sunday at 4 o'clock. So if you're in the area... I do think there's tickets available still. I think there's still seats available for the LAN party as well. So yeah, you're welcome to hop on by. I'll be here all weekend, which is always fun. And I'll be playing games. I'm going to go after this and get lunch, though. I am hungry. But let's not get Halo Infinite to crash this time. That would be a good starting point. And I can already tell that this looks pretty bad. It's probably because it's displaying 1080p or 800p right now. Yeah, it's running some funky resolution. Oh, because I didn't set... This happens every damn time. I really wish SteamOS would change this, because it is not, for those of us in docked mode, it makes no sense. I shouldn't have to set my resolution outside of the game to then set the resolution inside of the game. That makes no sense. I think I have to press the Steam button. Ooh. I think that's this one. Oh, wow. Did my Steam Deck just freeze? Yeah, it totally did. So, yeah, my Steam Deck died. Fun story. Never a good thing when you're at a LAN party. But we have the technology to... Oh. Okay. It recovered itself. Never mind. I was about to hard shut it off. That could have been a bad time. But yeah, we got to make sure we change our game resolution in every game we plan on playing, which is annoying, but something we can do. God, my ankle hurts so bad. I guess I was all hopped up from being excited to stream with you guys that my body kind of just like ignored the pain. But now that we're here, my body's like, oh, God. Ugh. All right, so it already looks a little bit better. Oh yeah, everything looks so much better. The text actually is legible, which is good. My ankle hurts so bad. I don't have any pain meds. I might have some in my car, but I don't have it on me right now. All right, so for whatever reason, it's trying to play at some ungodly resolution. Let's just do 1280 by 720p, because that's going to be kind of our, well, that's the lowest we can go anyways. Minimum frame rate, we're going to set that to 30 just in case. Keep VSync off. And then everything's at medium for some reason. All right, so let's join in a little deathmatch mode real quick. Again, our frame rate is up top, so y'all can track the performance. But again, this is, we're testing the feasibility of gaming on a handheld at a LAN party so that we don't have to lug around massive PCs and all that other gear that's required to do that sort of thing. So, yeah, that's what we're doing here. That's why we're testing it. We got this set to 720p. It's going to upscale it natively through the engine to our display output. As long as the game doesn't freeze, we're good. But we're also going to try out, after this, we're going to try out the AOK Zoe, because this has the Ryzen 6800U processor, which can get additional wattage, which would be beneficial in a docked mode. So I'm hoping that we can play these same games, but faster, or with higher quality settings, and also be able to play other games like Back 4 Blood, other types of Game Pass games that you would typically play at a LAN party. Ooh, my ankle. 45 FPS, not bad. It looks 30 FPS. It does not look good. Training mode active. Oh, God, this game just feels so slow. I mean, does it look slow to y'all? Ooh, there's a guy right there. Got one. On the roof. So yeah, this gets 40 FPS. It's not great, but you could probably play Halo. Oh, I don't have any ammo left. Nice. I guess I sprayed and prayed a little too liberally. Dang it. I thought I had that. Out of ammo. Yeah, I would definitely say this is not enjoyable. I'm kind of curious what our performance looks like with the AOK Zoe. So I'm done with this one. We already know it's about 40 FPS. So it's not great. It's playable, but I wouldn't enjoy it at a LAN party for the weekend. So that could also be partly due to the SteamOS. Sometimes it has issues with displaying to the screen. That might have been why it felt really slow. But I won't hold it against it. So I do have battle.net on here, I think. I hope I don't have to re-input my password. It's been a while. Battle.net, okay. All right, come on, Battle.net. Do your thing, my man. Insert the Jeopardy song. Doop 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 doop. My patience is running thin. That's not good. My wife just sent me a picture of a check engine light on our truck, which is not good. All right, so I had a couple other games I wanted to try on the Steam Deck before we swapped to the AOK Zoe. I want to see how this plays at 1080p. I have a feeling I have to back out and change it back to 1080p because, again, SteamOS doesn't like to set the resolution properly. Got 3 minutes with 65. Oh, nice. Very cool. How you doing, CTV? Good to see you, my man. Yeah, this is not the right resolution. We can get that fixed right on up. But we have had to change this on every single game we've had to play here. But yeah, earlier in the stream, we were talking about the ROG Ally. It's the latest, what's it called? It's the latest upcoming x86 handheld. So it is pretty dang cool. We talked about that at the very beginning of the stream. I'll be chopping it up and reposting it later on. God, my ankle hurts so bad. I rolled my ankle as I was getting out of the hotel room this morning, and it hurts so bad now. It's not broken because I can still move it. It's just very, very, very delicate. Oh, nice. You're streaming as well? I'll have to go put you on lurk, man. My computer is in the LAN center. We're playing on my Steam Deck right now, but streaming to a second PC. So it's working out pretty decent so far. We want to go windowed full screen. Yeah. We don't want that. We want medium detail settings. All right. We're just going to do some basic runs. I'm hoping all my keybinds and stuff are still applicable. but we shall see. We've got a pretty decently kitted out Hammered in. I've got an Enigma, Call of the Wild, or Heart of the Oak. You're on Twitch right now? Nice. Yeah, we're only getting 37 FPS. That sucks. Let's see if we can change this down to 720p. Actually, does this have FSR? I don't think it does. Anti-aliasing. I don't think it does. Off. Yeah, that doesn't work too well. We're going to drop it down to 720p. Ugh, that looks bad. And the performance isn't much better either. Let's do full screen. Oh, no, just kidding. God, that looks terrible. It looks like shit. And we're out. Good luck, buddy. Thank you, man. Appreciate the notification there. But yeah, so far, Diablo 2 Resurrected plays like shit, docked on the Steam Deck. 37 FPS. I mean, it's kind of like Halo, right? It's playable, but it's not enjoyable. And I have a feeling that if I was to try, we'll know. Ooh, Fowler, nice. I have a feeling once we get into a solar. I have a feeling once we get into like Chaos Sanctuary and stuff, this won't play too. 1, 2. Oh, nice. That's a double. What's it called? A double campfire. Those don't happen too often. All right, let's see if we can do this. We need to get our companion.
Good day.
But yeah, this is not too enjoyable. Even 50 FPS in town is garbage. I mean, it's responsive at least. Oh, that was a fast Endurance of Hate. Ooh.
I am overburdened.
It has been a while since we have had a unique ring drop on this channel. What do y'all think it's going to be? Nagel, boo. I already have a better Nagel ring. Bummer. That was almost pretty good. So I was hoping that was a Stone of Jordan. I have yet to see that drop on my character. All right, so let's do a chaos run real quick. Chaos should be pretty quick. That's nice. At least it the frame rate is in the 50s. Serviceable. Yeah, I was really disappointed the main enemy in that little fight didn't drop anything. Oh, don't die. Don't die. Don't die. Super healing potions. Where are you guys? Where's the enemies? Oh, jeez. I popped a potion and died. That's terrible. We'll have to go back in. Actually, I'm not going in. For the sake of time, we're going to keep moving because we only got about 15 minutes left in this stream. So we proved that worked. I think we wanted to do Overwatch. We'll do Overwatch at 15 watts, and then we will do... we're going to switch on over to the AOK Zoe now. So all the gaming we've seen up to this point has been running off of our Steam Deck. We've got it up top. Got it right up there instead of our gaming PC. You see how like cumbersome it would be to carry around that gaming PC to a LAN party? You could just bring a Steam Deck. Or what I would prefer, the AOK Zoe. So we're going to get that hooked up real quick. All right, with any luck, that will turn on just like that. See, now we got the A1 plugged in, and it came right up. Sweet. I have all of my windows. I was doing work on this before the stream because I needed to get all my stuff set up. All right, so let me change a couple things real quick. Where are you? There we go. All right, so let's swap back over. So right now we've got the AOK Zoe. We're mapped to both monitors, and we're playing at 1080p already. It's just really big because of the scaled resolution. So we should be good to go. Am I on the? I still on my my thingamajig, which may or may not matter. But we are running at 28 watts here, so we should see. Oh, I forgot I did this for my video. We have a video dropping on Sunday where I talk about Windows versus SteamOS on the Steam Deck. So definitely worth trying out when y'all get a chance. So let's start with Halo Infinite, because on the Steam Deck, we were only able to get 40 FPS. Let's see if we play with a 6800U at 28 watts, if we can get a better gaming experience. We were at low, downscaled to 720p, or whatever the lowest setting was. All right, and the audio's working too. I can't hear it myself, but y'all can hear it. And I've got all of my performance numbers up at the top there, so we're good to go. Looks clear to me, the text. All right, settings, video. So it's at 1080p. We're going to crank it down to what we were at earlier. Everything's at low. So, and we're going to do this at 30 FPS, just in case. Cool. So let's go to Academy, Training Mode, Map Bazaar. This is what we were playing just a moment ago on our Steam Deck. And we are now on the AOK Zoe. 28 watts, full throttle, baby. It loaded up a lot faster because the CPU's a lot better too.
Training mode.
Doesn't look like the frame rate's much better. That's not. It's a few frames faster. It's not that. It's not like markedly better.
Inbound. Overshield available.
Let's see. It does. I don't know. It still feels pretty slow.
reliable weapon.
But yeah, we're still getting pretty much the same gaming experience, which I find kind of sad. I was hoping to get a little bit better performance, given that we're doubling the wattage. I can actually hear the audio through something. Through the monitor? I can hear the beep. Oh, I wish I had a grenade. They're all in there. I just don't have enough bullets.
Twice next time.
All right. Well, we've kind of proven that with the AOK Zoe, we unfortunately don't get a much better gaming experience than the Steam Deck between 15 and 28 watts, which is not ideal. So we'll keep that in the back of our head. Let's switch over to the next game. We are kind of running out of time. We got 8 minutes left in the stream. Holy cow. We know Counter-Strike works fine. We know Quake Live works fine. Let's hop on over to battle.net. Because this was Diablo 2 Resurrected. And we should... I hope we see a better performance out of this. I would be very sad if we couldn't. The display looks good. I think we ran windowed mode at 720p and got around 40 to 50 FPS. So we're going to use those same settings at medium, I think is what this is at. Come on, Diablo. Oh, I don't want to watch the intro video. Let me play the game. All right, video full screen. We want to go windowed, 720p. That's weird. So it doesn't. So, oh, we can do this. Resolution scale. What's 720p? I don't think it's 50%. Resolution scale. Calculator. 720 divided by 1080. 67%. All right, so that is roughly what we were running earlier. Probably could go and retest it, but we don't got time for that. But we want to hop on our Terk again. It looks like shit. But does it perform better? Because, you know, you might be able to stomach up... Oh, God, that looks bad. That looks terrible. Yeah, that's... No, the font looks a lot better. We do get better performance here, so that is confirmed. But it's not great. We're definitely seeing some, like, what? Quality setting. Graphics preset is low. That could be also why it looks like shit. That's interesting. So I'm actually seeing the same performance as we saw with the Steam Deck. We're actually getting more stutters too.
Not enough mana.
Not enough mana. That's my guys. I have to go get my Merc back.
Greetings.
Back goes. Yep, I got it. Alright, here we go. Oh, nice. We got a fast turns and 8 that time, too. Oh, we're getting like 30 FPS.
I am
That's the
overburdened.
lightsaber, I think. Alright, time for a Chaos Sanctuary run. Let's go buy some potions first.
Hail to you, champion.
What's this?
Not in town.
Alright, Chaos Run, here we go. Let's see if we can do this in less than 2 minutes. I am shocked, man. This is performing worse than the Steam. Oh my god, look at the 20s. Yeah, we not see this in the That is so perplexing. We're running twice the volume of the Steam Deck. It's performing worse. Curious if there's like a issue with curious if there's a difference between running 720p native versus running more scaled 720p. Resolution scale. Pretty sure that poleaxe will. Here's the big D-man himself.
Not even death can save you from me.
Alright, nothing good. Do we have time? I think we got time for Frigid Highlands. Go hit Pendleston, I think. Just about done, Zacchaeus. Grind hills and hold it there. 25 frames per second. That is garbage. Alright. Clearly there's some more investigations that I would need to do in order to give that my thumbs up. Am I still running a game? Okay, I'm not running a game. Because that could have definitely been one of the issues. What other installed games do I have? So No Man's Sky, we'll leave that for off stream. I want to say the other one I could play is Call of Duty. We'll just run a quick benchmark on that one. Before we do that, though, let's exit big picture mode. I think I have Modern Warfare on here. Yep. We're going to run it 1080p, balanced, FSR2, up to 720p. That way we can see if this works okay. Because you got to play Call of Duty when you're at a LAN party, right? Oh, but man, this has been a good stream, guys. I've appreciated every one of you stopping by and saying hello. I'm hoping to do this a little more often. Obviously, we'll do a little more polish and stuff when we're back at home in the regular studio. This is kind of a special treat, getting to stream at the LANAllNight LAN Festival. So definitely hit subscribe. Keep coming back to the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and all that good stuff, so that y'all know when I am doing the gaming stuff. Come on, open, open, open. I'm starving. I haven't eaten today. I had like a coffee cake for breakfast. So the next question, so let's say this doesn't play well. You know what would play well here? The ROG Ally. I think this is the primary use case for this type of a setup. Full screen borderless 1080p quality, balanced. We want to use FSR 2.1 because that's how we roll. We didn't have to change any of our quality settings, so we don't need to restart the game. Let's launch the benchmark, see how it runs. All right, it said it was compiling shaders. I don't got time for that. So we're just gonna shoot, we're gonna raw dog it straight into 14 or 1080p FSR. What mode did I use? Balanced. That's fine. FSR, usually quality mode is my go-to setting for 1080p, but balanced I think would be a good compromise, especially if our performance sucks really bad, like it does. Shit. Because you're not going to want to play Call of Duty like this. Still compiling. All right. So 42 frames per second, not great. It might have still been compiling shaders and stuff in the background too. So I won't completely write it off. One thing I notice here is it's saying the bottleneck kind of is behind the CPU. In my previous testing, it's been the GPU that's 100% the bottleneck here. So there could have been some compilation stuff going on that's not great. So I've got to say, guys, I am kind of, I think going to a LAN party with a handheld is feasible right now for certain games, but you can't really play Call of Duty, Diablo you really can't play. You'll be able to play lighter weight games and stuff for sure, but anything that's getting about 40 FPS at the native settings, if you watch any of my older videos, those probably won't be a good time on the Steam Deck or on a AOK Zoe or a Neo. So this is a great chance to say the ROG Ally would be a great alternative if you wanted to go to a LAN party, but that'll have to wait for another time. But thank you everybody for sticking to the end of this stream. I hope you all have appreciated it. I'm going to be downloading this video, chopping it up, and reposting it here to the channel so that you guys can watch it later, especially the ROG Ally stuff. But we'll let it see. Let me leave a comment down below what you think of the video. I've enjoyed myself, so thank you to everyone at the LANAllNight for allowing me to stream here and all that good stuff. So, guys, I will catch you all in the next one. Later. I think it's called B-roll. Yep. Boom. How do you mute this? Hello.